So yesterday Apple launched two new iPhones, or kinda new iPhones. Don't get me wrong though, there's actually quite a few useful things in there, like the new AirPods Pro, which works as a hearing aid, and also the new regular AirPods that now also have active noise cancellation. They also launched the new Series 10, which also has a bigger and brighter display, but the thing everybody's most excited about is usually the iPhone, so we'll talk about the iPhones. Let's start with the iPhone 16. This year, the base model iPhone 16 finally got a new chip. Up until now, the base model iPhone has been using the chip from the last year's Pro model, but now it gets the new A18 chip. It's still not the same as in the Pro model, which gets the A18 Pro, but it's still better nonetheless. It's 30% faster in CPU compared to the iPhone 15, and it's 40% faster in GPU compared to the iPhone 15, but keep in mind that the iPhone 15 still uses the chip from the 14 Pro, so there's kinda 2 years leap in between. So the numbers might seem big, but the reality is it's not that much faster than the previous model. What is exciting though is the efficiency of a new CPU. The new iPhones have a new mainboard design which helps with better heat dissipation, and hence the new chip has much better peak performance and much better efficiency. With that, Apple also made the batteries bigger, although they didn't really say how much bigger the batteries are, so we'll have to wait and see about that, but still nice to have a bigger battery. Other than the CPU, the base model iPhone 16 now also got a new display, which still is stuck at 60 Hz, which kind of hurts, but it now can also go all the way down to 1 nit. So if you want to watch memes on your phone while your partner is sleeping, you can definitely do that. The iPhone 16 now also gets the action button from the iPhone 15 Pro, and with that it also gets the new capture button which the iPhone 16 Pro has. The capture button only works for the camera. It allows you to choose some settings in the camera like the exposure or portrait mode or any other modes that a camera has. You can set them by default, or you could also use it for zoom if you want to. In theory, this button seems kind of cool, but in real life you're probably gonna use it more by accident. So these are all the upgrades that the base model iPhone 16 got, which is where my problems with this phone start. Because at this price point it still features USB 2.0, despite having USB-C it's still limited to lightning speeds, and for the price you're paying in 2024 it's still stuck at 60 Hz. So despite the iPhone 16 being the new model, it's barely any better than the last year's iPhone 15 Pro, which is also going to be cheaper on the second-hand market now that the iPhone 16 Pro launched. In fact, if you go to Apple's website and compare the 15 Pro to the 16, the 15 Pro wins in almost any case. And that to me is just kind of insane. I just don't see any reason for you to go get the new iPhone 16 where you can just buy the iPhone 15 Pro on the second-hand market for much cheaper. And if you're going to buy a used iPhone 15 Pro, you're probably also going to get much more storage. The only advantage of a 16 over the 15 Pro is that you can buy it through a carrier, so you might get a plan, whereas you would have to pay cash for an iPhone 15 Pro on the used market. But at the price point of the iPhone 16, it's just better to pay more and get the iPhone 16 Pro. It's just gonna be miles better than the base model iPhone 16 anyway. And since we're talking about the Pro model so much, let's get to the iPhone 16 Pro. The iPhone 16 Pro also gets the new display, which can go as low as 1 nit for using your phone in the dark without disturbing others, but it also has 120 Hz and always on display. It also gets the new A18 Pro, which is just as fast as the regular A18. The only difference is that the Pro model can shoot ProRes, log, and ProRAW, which the A18 Pro enables. It also gets the new capture button, but where all the upgrades are is the camera department. Now the iPhone 16 Pro also has a new 48 megapixel ultrawide lens. So now 2 out of 3 cameras can shoot in 48 megapixel on the iPhone 16 Pro. And with that, it also gets the telephoto from the iPhone 15 Pro Max. So even the smaller model now can shoot up to 5x. Now I've talked to some people and they don't seem to like that, but I think it's cool that the 16 Pro and the 16 Pro Max have the same camera capabilities, so you no longer have to buy the biggest model to get all the latest camera features. Also, because of a new A18 Pro, the iPhone 16 Pro can now shoot up to 120 FPS in 4K. You can now also select the playback frame rate. So if you took a shot at 120 FPS in 4K, you can then slow it down to 60 FPS without any editing gaps. However, the new iPhone 16 Pro also gets a new color, which is somewhat rose gold, somewhat bronze, it's something in between. And that's all the updates for the iPhone 16 and 16 Pro. While the iPhone 16 is completely senseless to me, I will be upgrading to the iPhone 16 Pro because I've got an iPhone 14 Pro and I really need log for shooting video. To be honest, that's my only reason for upgrading to the 16 Pro. Otherwise, I would have just kept my iPhone 14 Pro because it works flawlessly. And by the way, if you want to see a long-term review of the iPhone 14 Pro, I have just dropped the video on my channel. And if you want to see reviews of the iPhone 16 Pro, consider subscribing to this channel. If you find this video helpful, please like it. With that said, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.